Hey, everybody. This week on Up Your Alley, we've got two great recommendations for you. First, Jake's recommendation for me, the film War of the Worlds, The Next Century, and my recommendation for Jake, the documentary Pee-wee Herman as himself, available on Max. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some trailers and just catch up since we've been off for a week. Jake, you got anything to add?
No.
All right, cool. Oh, we're back. It's been a week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hey, Jake.
Hey, man. I'm back from Kentucky.
So I like how you waited to get your laptop ready until you're like, oh, go ahead and start recording. I'm going to make a lot of noise while I get my laptop together. And now it's updating and it's 7%.
Yeah, I completely forgot I did a thing.
Oh, Jesus. And thank everybody for listening. Again, this show is called Up Your Alley if it's your first time listening. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Taylor. With me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
We're at 21%.
Oh, we're making moves. It's a show where we've been best friends for like 20 years, and now we recommend each other things to watch, listen to, play, or read, or do whatever the case may be. And then we come back the next week to grade them on a scale of 1 to 3 and talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, buddy?
Yeah, so why are you getting your laptop out?
I have a thing that I want to do.
Oh, you have a thing you want to do?
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
But also, I want to show you this. I bought this.
What's this?
This. Take a look.
Dirty work. Oh, you
Yeah.
talked about this. So is this the same people that did
It's Vinegar Syndrome.
Vinegar Syndrome? So your recommendation for me was a 4-disc a tetralogy, an apocalypse tetralogy from Polish director
Shulkin.
Yeah. And you recommended one of those. And I got to say, this company, Vinegar Syndrome, awesome.
I love them.
They're doing good work.
Yeah, I
They're
love
doing
them.
good work
They're
with
the-
the box sets.
They're the criterion of
Weird movies.
schmaltzy, slutty, vulgar, overlooked classics.
So this is the Norm Macdonald vehicle, Dirty Work.
Yes.
Amazing movie.
And they found like extra footage or different cuts.
Yeah.
And they were like changed for like the ratings or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, we cleaned them up and we put them in, and we feel like we did Bob Saget or Norm Macdonald proud.
Really?
So I'm really excited to watch it and see
Norm
what they
Macdonald
changed.
has parallels with one of our recommendations, too, with Pee-wee Herman for being sick and just not telling anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then working on their final project just kind of secretly and then just kind of dying.
Some people are just very to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I really like that documentary. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But, yeah, how you been? Back from Kentucky?
Back from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Everything went well.
It's funny, about noon 30 last Friday, I got a text from a listener that's like, where's the episode? I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot that we forgot to tell people.
I thought I did tell people. Damn.
No, you told me, and then
okay.
You were like, after we finished recording 2 weeks ago, you're like, hey, we forgot to say that we're not going to be on next week. And I was like, oh, I'll just add something
Yes,
in.
I do remember that.
And then I just didn't do that.
Where's the episode?
Yeah, so I just put the episode up.
We have like 5 fans, and we've disappointed all of them.
It's sad that they all have our phone numbers. Speaking of weird things. Okay, so this is just a boilerplate question with no context to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything that's going on in like the pop culture meme zeitgeist with Alvin and the Chipmunks?
No.
Nothing.
No. Why? Something going on?
Something I think is.
Well, they're hitting that age where they're more active online.
No. I'm talking about the newer ones.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
The Squeakquel and the Threequel.
When they were kids, they came out, 10 years ago? Maybe?
More than that. It was Justin Long, wasn't it? Wasn't he playing Dave?
I can't remember.
Or Jason Lee. I think it was Jason Lee
I think-
playing Dave.
Yeah, maybe.
Regardless.
Yeah, Jason Lee.
So I was watching movies with the kid, and we booted up Disney Plus, and out of the top 10 in the United States on Disney Plus, Alvin and the Chipmunks was like number 6, and then Alvin and Chipmunks the Squeakquel was like number 8.
Yeah.
So they were 20% of the top 10 on Disney Plus.
They're teenagers now, is what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just a meme thing, like how kids are into Shrek, and they make
We're
Shrek
all into
memes.
Shrek.
Kids are.
We're all into Shrek.
I was never a Shrek guy.
It's fun to talk about Shrek.
Listen, I can go off for a while about how Shrek sent the band Smash Mouth down a path that they did not need to go down. After Fush Yu Mang and the success of that album, they could have continued to be a great alt ska band. But after All Star and Shrek, they just kept chasing that dragon to the point where it killed Steve Harwell. We can talk about this all we want.
I like that you're like,
Shrek killed Smash Mouth?
the reason Smash Mouth isn't like the number one ska band. Punk ska band.
Smash Mouth had potential.
I'm going to say they are the number one ska band.
No, they're not.
If they didn't have Shrek, they would have just quietly passed away in their bed one day.
Whenever anyone talked about ska, it's Mighty Mighty Boss Toads is the number one
That one's
bullet
great.
point that people get. Regardless,
Mustard Plug.
I love Mr. Smiley as much as the next guy, but Fush You Mang was a great album. Anyway, you like how I pulled that one out?
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy? You like how I pulled out Mustard Plug,
I do. It's fun to say.
Less than Jake, my namesake. I'm sorry.
Between my house and your house, when I was driving, we're recording at Jake's house again today.
Hello.
Between my house to your house, and anyone that lives in this area might have seen this, on US 29, heading north, there's this business that's been there since I've lived here, since like 1996, that just sells rugs.
Yeah.
Which just looks like it's a front.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like a front for drugs. It's like they're doing something illegal out there.
They got a Marilyn Monroe thing
They've
going
had a
on.
Marilyn Monroe one. They had a Bob Marley one for a while.
I think it's an Audrey Hepburn one now.
No, there's an Alvin and the Chipmunks one there.
Wow.
I cannot tell you the last
That's
time
crazy.
I noticed them changing rugs. And the store's just called Rugs.
Yeah.
It's clearly a front for something.
Yeah.
Or they're squatting on that land until Trader Joe's pays them $6 million to develop it, at which point, good for them. Like, that's outstanding work.
It's really hard to park there. It's right off of 29, which means...
First of all...
And it has no turnoff.
Right. But how much traffic are they getting selling rugs?
I hear you on that, but I was like, you have like 10 seconds to react.
But yeah. You got to
When you
know where
see
you're
it.
going.
Yeah.
It's not like a south of the border on 95 situation where you've got like a bunch of places telling you to turn off ahead of time. But it was just very strange to me that there was Disney Plus, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and then the rug store that I've never remembered them being anything pop culture-y pulls out an Alvin and the Chipmunks rug.
Yeah, it's
Do you
pretty
think
funny.
they had the rug? And then maybe they were on Disney Plus too, being like, something going on with Alvin and the Chipmunks? And then they put it outside because you can see it from the road.
It has to be.
And
It has to be that they've been sitting on it for a while.
right.
They wouldn't be like, they're not that savvy because they haven't changed the rug
They've
outside
had that Marilyn Monroe
in
rug
years.
for years,
literally years.
decades. I don't know how it isn't faded.
I
from
know
the
that they
elements.
switched owners. That's one thing that I know.
Who buys a rug business?
I don't know. Another rug business.
It has to be a front for something.
Yeah.
We should interview them for
Absolutely.
the podcast. Just go in there. Be like,
Now
"What's
we
going
are
on?"
investigative journalists.
You know, that might have to be the next bent that we go on. Is just start doing true crime. Did you see that true crime verdict that was yesterday?
No.
Karen Reed or Kathy Reed? I forget what the lady's name is. There's a
True
big true crime podcast thing.
Verdict?
Yeah, there was a verdict in her case. I think it was Karen Reed. Yeah, Karen Reed.
Who's that?
She's a Boston lady, and she got accused of murdering her fiance
Oh.
because they claim that she got drunk and hit him with her car, and then she left him outside, and he froze to death in a blizzard because he got blizzarded on. And she got found not guilty yesterday.
Okay.
It's a big thing I'm trying to get in the search engine algorithm.
This is how we're trying?
Yeah, just throwing shit at the wall. Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Do you just want to be a true crime podcast?
No, I want to be a successful podcast. So we're going to talk about chipmunks.
It's not going to happen.
Listen, I already screwed us in the algorithm for talking about Smash Mouth for too long.
The problem is that I'm not interested in anything that anybody wants to talk about ever.
Speaking of things that aren't interesting,
Yeah.
we watched the trailer for the new upcoming film,
The Bruce Springsteen
the
movie.
Bruce Springsteen
What's
movie.
it called?
It's called Springsteen.
Really? That's
No, it's called Springsteen. A whole lot of love.
Springsteen. Hello.
No, what is it fucking called?
I don't
God damn
know.
it, why are you putting me on the spot like this? But I sent it to Jake. Deliver Me from Nowhere.
Oh.
Has Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah. Who I love.
Has Jeremy Strong, who's great.
I love.
Yeah, he's from Succession and a bunch of other stuff. And Big
Oh,
Short.
yeah. She dresses like mustard.
Yeah, he also did. He was in the Donald Trump movie with Sebastian Stan.
Is that the funny movie?
No, the serious one.
Oh,
I mean, it's funny because how sad it is.
that's bad.
Yeah, things are good.
How can you make a movie about Trump and be like, this one's going to be the one where it's like serious?
Jesus Christ.
He can't say stuff.
But it should.
The thing is, you have to do it like off-screen type of creature that you're talking about. You can't have him
Like the
perform.
alien in Alien, where you
gotta-
just hear about it.
Caesar's outside, right? And he's making wild decrees.
Yeah.
And he is changing the world as we see it. Then you can't have Caesar come on and be like, it's great.
Everything's fine.
It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love this guy. Hannibal Lecter. He's got a big cock. And you're like, this guy is the threat to America.
Yeah,
It's hard to make that movie.
it sure is. But
Yep.
I think it's hard to make a Bruce Springsteen movie as well.
It looks like it.
So when they first announced this movie, and they said Jeremy Allen White, the bear himself, and he was going to be playing Bruce Springsteen, I'm like, I get it. I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of roguish handsomeness to him.
He can do it. Sure.
This is the first trailer that came out, and it has Paul Walter Hauser in it, too, who's great in everything he does.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should really like this movie. Because unlike you, I like a biopic. I like a biopic. I like a musical biopic. I like the bad ones.
I like it when it's about like one event, typically.
Yeah.
You know, not like the life of this person.
Yeah, we did one of those recently that you liked, which I pulled off. Oh, the Saturday Night movie, where it was just like
it was
one
enjoyable.
night of Saturday. It wasn't like the life of Lorne Michaels.
And they did it. They sprinkled in stuff that didn't happen that night, but
right.
to like give you an idea of what Saturday Night is.
But this trailer is one of the worst trailers I think I've seen.
It's just very uninteresting.
I don't think I've ever seen a trailer that has turned me off of a movie so much as this has.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was stoked about it. There's no reason I
Really?
shouldn't like this movie. I like Bruce Springsteen. I like all these people.
I like Bruce Springsteen too.
Yeah.
You know? And I like his music.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the man
mean,
outside of it.
he's vaguely political. He seems like a working class dude. He always just seemed like a better Billy Joel to me.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's just a good singer,
Yeah.
songwriter.
Catchy tunes.
And I don't care about his life, and that's a fault on me.
Nope.
But what they showed me on there, it's just we're supposed to be like, oh, we're witnessing, a master.
And this is
and watch a master. I want to see somebody have bad diarrhea. That's what I want.
Well, there's whole sides of the internet where you could watch that.
Yeah, I hear you, but if you're going to be, you're deifying these people. I'm
Right.
saying I need a moment where you see them and they're like, "What's wrong with me, doc?" And they're like, "Well, you haven't pooped in 3 days. That's your problem, Bruce." And he's like, "Oh no, is it all that red meat?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's all
Probably
that red
that,
meat,
yeah.
Bruce. Boss, we got to get you on the toilet. Give me that movie where we follow him trying to work on his bowel movements." I
Might
want
be a
that
better movie than this.
It's more interesting. It makes him a human being.
Definitely it looks just so... I was more on board from the trailer for the Timothy Chalamet Bob Dylan movie, which is like the third Bob Dylan movie that they've made. But I was
it's not
still
even
just
going to be. They did I'm Not There.
Yeah.
And that's a far more interesting idea of a movie.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to capture what is Bob Dylan. If you're going to deify him, do it that way. Where
That's
it's like,
fair.
let's make it very interesting.
And I'm Not There was a good movie.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the Chalamet Bob Dylan movie.
Me neither. I don't want to, really.
And this really just made me be like, I don't want to see that either. But you brought up a good point that this needs to be where they put in another Walk Hard movie.
We need a Walk Hard 2 now, and it needs to be a parody of this movie.
Walk Hard killed the music biopic for a little bit.
I thought it put it in the ground.
In the ground.
I thought it was over.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you. Enough of this type of biopic.
But then
now we're back.
The problem is then comedies went away. So they couldn't keep making fun of stuff. Like big comedies in theaters.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I feel like that was
Parodies.
Yeah. Well, not just so
Silly
much
movies.
parodies, just movies that are just funny for the sake of being funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biopic kind of creeps in. But you could tell with this movie, with Paul Walter Hauser and Jeremy Allen White, and even in the trailer, it's like, hey, this is your Oscar. Like someone told Jeremy Allen White, you're going to win an Oscar for this movie.
Yeah. That's what they're going for.
I don't think it's going to come together.
That's why I'm not interested in these types of movies. It's if they did it for I don't know, Damon Albarn, I'd probably care more. Gorillas.
I'm aware who he is. That's a weird choice.
Well, I care about him.
Okay,
sure. I listen to his music. I follow him. I listen to all his offshoots and
If we're
stuff.
going Britpop, I'd rather see a Nolan Liam Gallagher movie, which is just two actors beating the crap out of each other.
That would be funny.
I'd watch that.
But also, I don't know much about them.
They hate each
I know
other.
a lot about Damon Albarn. I would like to see something, encapsulate who he is. I think that would be fun. But when you're doing it an Oscar bait worthy type thing, where you're like, hey, I'm talking to a legend here type stuff, where you look backward and be like, this is a legendary moment type thing, it gets on my nerves.
There's a line in the trailer where like the guy, he's buying a car, he's like, I know who you are, Mr. Rockstar.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know who you are. And he's like, that makes one of us.
that
And I'm
makes
just
one
like,
of
God
us."
damn it, man. That's a horrible line.
Let's just try. It just feels like it's going to be the same type of movie that I've seen before.
Yeah.
And I'm already tired of it.
Just nothing.
And Walk Hard, I thought, really drove it into people's heads that these movies are boring,
formulaic,
and
dumb.
Yeah. There's a line in it where it's like the 60s are a wild and changing time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they didn't know that then, but looking back, we knew that now.
Yeah.
So now we'll tell them that they knew that.
You know who I think could do the Walk Hard 2 version of this? From the same cast of The Bear, I think Ayo Edebiri could knock that out as like a Dreamgirls spoof or something like that.
Okay.
And she's just so talented. Like, she could kill it just like John C. Reilly did. Just like be that level of serious and funny. And she's from The Bear as well. And I think that would be a great movie.
I want Fallstein.
Who?
Instead of Springsteen.
Oh.
Fallstein.
Winterstein.
There you go. And instead of Nebraska, it could be...
Nebraska's, like, and that's such a controversial album, too. Like, that's... Unless you're a big Bruce Springsteen fan, Nebraska's not your favorite Bruce Springsteen album.
Yeah, but I guess it's a good story, huh?
I guess. It's when he was sad.
Yeah. So there you go.
Sure.
If it works, I'm happy for everybody, but it's not interesting to me in the least.
And every other movie that I've been excited about, the trailer has just gotten me more and more excited. I'm still so excited to see Jurassic World.
Nah.
Rebirth. Rebranding.
Nah.
Now it's Scarlett Johansson.
Let's try again. Jurassic World, we just got a problem.
What do you mean try again? Every one of those movies makes over $1 billion.
Then I guess it's good.
Yeah, it is.
Must be good.
People
it got
like
money.
It. People like it.
It's got money, Jake. It's got to be good.
I guarantee Jurassic World's going to make more money than your Damon Albarn fan film.
That must mean it's better.
Yes. In capitalism,
people keep giving it money.
If we've learned anything,
if it doesn't make any money, people will probably literally die.
I mean, yeah, with the dinosaurs.
Yeah. From the dinosaurs.
What else has been going on? There's something else we wanted to talk about.
The only other thing was we got off on Leslie Nielsen for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Oh, talking about movie trailers that have come out. There's a new trailer for Naked Gun. I'm so on board for Liam Neeson playing every Leslie Nielsen character.
I didn't watch it because I know I'm going to watch the movie.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited for the movie.
I love...
Lonely Island dude's making it, and that's good for me.
Kiva. His podcast is outstanding.
I've listened to it.
Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast.
Oh, yeah. They talk about SNL shorts.
Yeah, well, all the
I want to watch a biopic
shorts
on that so that we can watch them, and we'll watch Andy Samberg put his dick in a box, and then everybody goes, wait, could you do that on camera?
Akiva Schaffer, like, there's an episode that I almost recommended to you for the show where it was just like, this is such a good podcast, and it just paints the Lonely Island in such a good light. Do you remember the digital short Rosh Trent?
I don't think so.
So Andy Samberg's just play like a white guy with dreadlocks, and he's like fake Jamaican Rasta guy, and it's all about he's in college is the premise of the song.
Yeah. And
it's like rude boy living in the shanty dorms, toil long time at Cold Stone Creamery, and shit like that. But in the podcast with Seth Meyers, Akiva breaks it down. Akiva and Andy Samberg and Yorma break it down like line by line. They're like, this is a reference to this song. This is a reference to that song. And they're so well versed in like Jamaican, like Rastafari, just like early funk, and then like San Francisco Bay Area dance hall music. And I'm like, oh my God, these guys are such nerds about something that like not many other people in their universe care about. Like clearly Seth Meyers doesn't care about it. And I don't know all the stuff about that where they're like, oh, this is a reference to this guy who got famous in Jamaica, you know, back in the 80s. And then he moved to San Francisco and did this. And it's like, you guys are fucking in it. I love it. And they're super nerdy.
Yeah, I like
that's why they're going to make a good Naked Gun movie.
People slept on Popstar too hard. That was a really good movie.
It's on Netflix now. I hope it gets a little rebranding.
It's free on YouTube.
Maybe they'll make a rug about it and put it out on Route 29. It's free on YouTube?
Uh-huh.
Like legally?
Yeah.
Huh.
Popstar. Free with ads probably, but I get it free because I got YouTube Premium.
What's up, you fancy boy?
Hello. That's the only streaming service I got.
Speaking of free with ads, let's talk about, what do you want to talk about first?
Out of our... I'll talk about mine.
Yours? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Jake's recommendation for me first, which was the film from, I want to say, 1981?
Yes.
War of the Worlds, The Next Century.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, shot in the dark here from you.
Mm-hmm.
I texted Jake after I watched this movie, and I said, this is the most Jake Baggedy recommendation.
Which is weird.
Not really.
Because, I like the auteur. definitely. But the only reason I wanted to see this because my buddy Dan wanted to see it.
Okay.
And I was he got the tetralogy. I bought it as a gift for him.
This isn't a long-held movie that you've seen like for a long time.
No, I saw it a couple years ago.
Okay.
For the first time.
I thought this was one you had in your pocket for a while.
No. We were already recording the podcast, and when I watched it, that's when I put it in my back pocket, being like, "This will be something I'll show Taylor at some point."
Yeah. So break it down real quick, like just a Spark Notes version of what the movie's about and who the guy that did it and all that crap. Is your laptop up and running now?
Yeah.
Your laptop is distracting.
Well, don't look at it.
You got stickers on the back, and then your keyboard is one of those changey color keyboards.
Here you go.
Does it clicky clack well?
I have a.
Give us a little clicky clack with the microphone.
There's no clicky clack to it.
The keyboard doesn't clicky clack?
No.
But it changes colors.
No.
Huh.
No clicky clack.
I love a clicky clack.
Here you go. I have a quote from H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells?
Yet across the gulf of space, minds that are to our minds, as ours are to the beasts that perish, intellects vast and cool and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely drew their plans against us.
That's from War of the Worlds.
Published in 1898, H.G. Wells' popular War of the Worlds was released in hardcover. A story about aliens unfortunately not trying to kill Tom Cruise in the U.S., but an unnamed protagonist trying to survive the invasion of Essex.
Yeah.
Perhaps better known than even the book itself, Orson Welles' released a radio play that preyed on the most vulnerable of people, the American consumer.
Oh, sick burn.
Panic swept the country as a rarely sober Wells told a nation, yes, the country is being invaded, and yes, we are all going to die.
Did you write this?
Yes.
Why is Orson Welles catching strays by a rarely sober Wells?
Pyotr Zolkin had a different idea on the story. What if the invasion was from boring aliens, and the biggest assholes in the world took advantage of the most important event in the world's history for no better reason than they can? Turns out you get a movie with messages that feel as important today as they did in 1981.
Yes. And I think this movie has become more relevant in the week that we took off.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah. I wrote that.
You did. It's
How was
nice.
that?
Is that your Letterboxd review?
No, I just wrote that for this.
Why are you catching strays for Orson Welles?
Because it's funny.
I mean, fair, but
It's funny to make fun of people.
it is funny to make fun.
One of the building blocks
funny to make fun
of
of people.
comedy is you got to punch people while they're dead.
I'm gonna make so much fun of this stupid Bruce Springsteen movie.
Yeah. I'm not going to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna make you watch it.
I don't want to watch it.
So yeah, so this movie's set in. It's made in 1980. It's set at the end of the 20th century. So like
Yes.
1999 specifically, like the last couple days of 1999.
Important thing in the title is that it's World of Worlds 2, 100 years later.
But it's not a sequel to War of the Worlds. Like the events of War of the Worlds didn't happen in this reality.
No.
The Martians come, but instead of coming in the end of the 19th century, they came at the end of the 20th century.
What they didn't want to cover was an invasion. They wanted to cover an occupation after 100 years. And that's what this world is.
Wait, the Martians had been here for 100 years?
That's the idea.
I didn't get that from the movie at all.
No? So what I got from the movie was this
I
is
thought,
what
no,
life
because
has been.
they say the Martians had only been here for like 2 weeks.
The Martians were going to leave in 2 weeks.
Oh.
They were saying
Also, the Martians are just
tiny little red guys.
they're little people.
and silver parkas.
Yeah, like FUBU jackets.
Yes.
Like
They
they've
look
got the puffy FUBU
great.
jackets.
They look so good.
I didn't know we had that technology back in the 80s. I thought that was a late 90s, early 2000s invention to
What?
have the FUBU jacket.
Parka?
Like a big puffy FUBU jacket.
You keep saying FUBU.
Because that's how I first knew it. It's like Mace used to wear those.
Yeah, but they're parkas.
Huh.
Yeah,
Why are they wearing those?
because that's Martians.
Yeah, they're short little Oompa Loompa
Martians
looking guys.
that couldn't care less about what our politics are.
They're Oompa Loompas dressed like they're
Yeah.
in a Bad Boy video.
And they love our
from-
blood. They do like
They
our blood.
need our blood.
They say it tastes like candy to them.
Mm-hmm.
They say it once. But what I thought was big is the entire story that this movie is.
So
You
it's
follow-
based around a guy named Iron Edom.
Yeah.
Is the character name, and he's a newsman.
He's a
With
newscaster.
the allegedly independent news.
Yes. He goes on every night to tell you the stories
Yeah.
of the world.
Mhm.
And you realize quickly he's told what stories to tell
by the man upstairs.
Yes.
Quite literally, he's
yes.
upstairs.
And you don't get to see who it is. It's more important that there's events happening that not even he knows about.
Right.
And it's slowly, you can see that he doesn't trust what's happening with what he's saying.
Right. Because he has his own script, and then there's a hot lady in the elevator, and she's like, ooh, why are you always in such a hurry?
Yeah.
And then he gets his own script, and he sits down, and he puts on his little wig, and then he's like about to talk, and then the man upstairs is like, here's your script.
Yep.
He's like, oh, I have my own script. He's like, no, you don't. You
Yep.
have this script. And the script is all about how the Martians are great.
Yep.
And
Martians
how you
great.
need to be a friend of the Martians, and you sign up and prove you're a friend and get a dog tag put in your ear and give us your blood.
Yep.
And then it plays out in like a sort of like a series of vignettes over the next couple days where you're following the same dude, but it's not like this happens because this happens because this happens. It's like this happens to him and this happens
It's
and
more,
then this.
yeah, it's like Discoveries.
Yeah.
Where
So he's laying in his house the next day with his lady, and then just freaking chainsaw comes through the door like Elon Musk and just bulldozes through his house, and there's a little Martian there, and there's the guys that are dressed up in their, future Gestapo uniforms that look like the soldiers in Spaceballs, which is very funny.
everything, the costuming is fantastic in this.
Side note, one of the first note I wrote is I had to check when this came out.
Yeah.
And then when Monty Python and the Holy Grail came out, because the opening credits of this are almost identical to the opening credits to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Did you notice that?
No.
Even like in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, they had I think it was just the subtitles were popping up.
Yeah.
And it was written in Polish.
Yeah.
And Monty Python and the Holy Grail has that whole thing where it's like the Swedish subtitles at the bottom. And also Vic. A moose once bit my sister. It's like the funniest opening thing ever. But yeah, it's just like I was just like I had to figure out like did they do this or did Monty Python rip this off? Monty Python was 5 years earlier.
Wow, that's hilarious.
50th anniversary of Monty Python this year.
Yeah,
the Holy
wonderful.
Grail. 50th anniversary of Jaws is the day this podcast comes out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Damn.
Great movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he goes on and then he has to like go through this weird, like almost like the opening of Inglourious Basterds scene where this guy's like, "Oh, are you a friend of the Martians?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm not really a friend of the Martians. You can tell me if you're not too." And
yeah.
he's like, "I am a friend."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, well, I was tricking too.
Yeah.
You passed."
Yeah.
So it's a lot of those weird vignettes.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
So the reason I said this is the most jaggedy, Jake Baggedy, jaggedy,
Jaggedy, Jake Baggedy.
I just combined them.
Hey, Jaggedy, Jake Baggedy.
It's the most jakey recommendation ever.
It's weird.
It's
not
old.
even that funny.
It's old. It's foreign.
Yeah.
It's Artur.
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, I should not or in the opposite direction of the Bruce Springsteen trailer. This movie had everything working against it.
Yeah, sure.
For me.
Uh-huh.
Based on a movie or a book, I don't really like the War of the Worlds movie. I love the book War of the Worlds.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I should not have liked this.
Yeah.
I really liked this.
Yeah. That's fantastic to hear.
It was really good.
It's kind of eerie how it's poignant.
Yes.
Still.
Well, I think more from HG instead of War of the Worlds. I think it takes a lot more from. I mean, it takes the whole thing. Martians are here.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it has to do with War of the Worlds.
Yeah. Literally. It doesn't even worry about a war.
I think it takes more from Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, meaning that someone broadcasting stuff can affect the populace.
Yes.
More so, and how stupid people will believe whatever they hear over the TV.
Yes.
It takes more from Orson Welles' War of the Worlds than it does from that. I think
Absolutely.
it takes a lot more from 1984 than it does from, but replace Big Brother with The Martians.
Sure, but even the Martians aren't even as powerful in this.
Oh,
what I
he
got from
punches
it,
a Martian in the face.
What I get from this is the Martians are just a tool
Right.
for the world leaders to use.
Right.
And they'd be like, we could get united around these Martians and be like, they won, and we have to do what they say, and it benefits us, but us is now the Martians.
Yes. I have my notes. One, there's a scene where he's in bed with his wife.
Yeah.
The only time in my life I've ever seen a can of just Amstel beer.
Yeah, sure.
I've never seen Amstel.
Yeah.
Amstel Light.
Amstel Light.
All the time.
I'm pretty sure that's it now.
I've never seen Amstel. I was just like, huh.
Had to start somewhere.
I mean, you figure there has to be a regular one before there's...
For a light version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a...
Nice big-ass apartment, too. Blindingly white.
Weird tangent, because I was thinking Amstel Light. Have you ever heard of a slow loris?
No.
So it was in the New York Times, the mini crossword on Monday.
Yeah.
It was 5 letters. It was slow blank primate. And I was like, what? I've never heard of a slow anything. It's slow loris. Loris.
No. Never heard of a loris. No.
No, specifically a slow loris.
No.
Which, gives the thing that should be a fast loris, or at least a regular speed loris.
Yeah.
The loris is a venomous primate. Did you know we had those?
No.
Okay, so
I've
it's
never
got
heard
this.
of it.
It's
Push
venomous.
this button.
It's venomous and also poisonous.
Yeah.
So it's both, but it's a primate. It looks kind of like a bush baby or like a sugar glider a little bit.
Okay.
It's got
Tiny?
something like right underneath its armpit
Yeah.
that if it licks that, it mixes it with its spit and it makes its bites poisonous
That is sick as hell.
or venomous. Right? And it's a primate.
That is so awesome.
I had no idea these things fucking existed.
Yeah.
So I go down this rabbit hole because it's like after I get the mini crossword, I'm like, okay, because I figure it out like with going down, and I'm like, okay, loris, never heard of that. Do some Wikipedia-ing, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know there were venomous primates. Do some more, and it's been like people are selling them as pets, and they're like defanging them, which is horrible. So it's like go down this whole thing about a slow loris trade and how bad it is, and like they're from like Southeastern Asia, like that whole area. So I'm like, oh God, that's horrible. And then the whole time I'm thinking in the back of my head, slow loris, that's a great band name, right? So then I Google, is there any band named Slow Loris? There are 3 bands named Slow Loris, and I listen to one of them, and they fucking rule. They put out an EP with 4 tracks last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're great.
Maybe they did the crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
And just
I
they
guess.
accepted you. They got you.
That was a weird tangent, but I just wanted to know if you had ever heard of a Slow Loris before.
No, sir.
That should have come up at the beginning with my other small mammal tangents when I was talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks.
This movie.
Okay.
I think it deserves to be watched in like college classes.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's something where it's very thick with symbology as well as just metaphor.
And I think, sadly, it's kind of timeless.
Yes. Sadly, it's kind of timeless, which is the worst thing.
Yeah.
Making the Orson Welles comparison is very pertinent because that's the whole thing. When you give somebody a position of authority, people are going to listen to that person, and you're just going to have to trust that what they're saying is the truth.
It plays Iron Eatum as sympathetic towards the end.
Yes. I was sympathetic to him the entire time.
Yeah.
Because it felt like he never got to be who he wanted to be.
Right.
Which is somebody who addressed the news.
Well, yeah, in the first act, he gets his world crashed out. Like, literally, when he's handed the script and he says, no, you're saying this now, you can see him just kind of make a turn. And he plays along with it. He does it up a little bit. He definitely shades of Alex Jones.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. Yeah, very Alex Jonesy before Alex Jones was doing
You
shit.
want to see something weird that I could not stop thinking about? All right, so there's Iron Eatum.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I love his wig, by the way. Ew. Weird.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan looks like
Joe Rogan
Iron
wore
Eatum.
a blonde wig in one episode of his podcast. I could not stop thinking how much this old Polish dude looks like Joe Rogan.
There you go.
Who could have just been kind of a happy little tool that people use to get bad things to happen.
Insane, dude.
Yeah.
Insane. I love this movie. I thought it was great. The reason I wanted you to watch this one, like, it's a tetralogy, right? And I've seen 3 of the 4.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them are great,
Okay.
I have to say. This one's my favorite one, though, because it feels like crazy how it just called it. Well, it knew what media was as soon as media news was a thing. You know what I mean? It sees the network, the nationality of the news, and being like, people are going to use this for the worst things.
Especially
possible.
so you figure he made this movie in Poland. I don't know how old he was, but I figure, Poland, he probably was born sometime around the 40s.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
Nationalism and people just kind of listening to a charismatic leader, something that the Poles have like a
pretty tight relationship to.
Yeah, they know how south that can go real quick.
And it's just
twice.
It's eerie.
And
it's very silly just from its budget point of view. Like
but that's
he wears a wig that's so silly while
Joe
he's doing
Rogan
the
does.
move.
Yeah.
While he's doing the news, it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
They plays this chime every time he makes a point.
Yeah, the music's great.
The music
it's very
is
synthy. It's very early 80s.
Crazy.
It's very who's the guy that did the first Lord of the Rings movies? Balkshi.
Oh.
It's very
Bakshi?
much
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much that kind of like
Ralph
weird
Bakshi.
music too.
Damn.
Yeah.
Good call. Good
Megan,
pull.
I'm learning shit.
Yeah, look at you,
I know
dude.
stuff.
But I was just taken aback that this is a movie that I don't see people really talking about.
No, it's a great movie.
So
I will say this. I have it on a Blu-ray that Jake let me borrow.
Yeah.
It's available if you go to Amazon Prime, sign up for a free 7-day trial of Mubi, M-U-B-I.
Oh, yeah.
It's on there.
Yes, and
So
I highly recommend it.
Sign up for I do too. Sign up for that free 7-day trial, and then even keep watching Mubi or don't. I don't
Watch
care.
that. If you're going to watch that, definitely. If you like it, I would say go ahead and start with Gollum.
I'm going to watch Gollum next.
Yeah.
Speaking of Balkshi.
Gollum is very good. Very good movie.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that probably tonight.
Obi-Oba is definitely his craziest movie that I've seen so far. And that, I had a problem reading the subtitles, so I believed the wrong thing the whole movie until halfway through it. They're like, oh, yeah, that's already happened. You're not paying attention to the right thing.
Here's something. So I thought the Martians weren't real.
Right. And that's a big part of it.
It doesn't. It leaves in. It doesn't say either way, but there's enough openness or open-endedness to this movie, especially the last shot.
Yes.
You're just like, was everything faked?
Yep.
Like,
and they even let you know, hey, we're going to shoot something. Like, we're going to record something, and you're going to tell everybody that it was real.
Right.
And and that thing, that real footage that you have, we can doctor it so that it looks exactly like the way that we want it to.
Like, he walks out into the street and it's like a bunch of dead bodies and a bunch of mothers wailing, and they're like, okay, they need to be doing it more. It's like, isn't this live? They're like, no, this is for tomorrow. The concert's live right now.
Yes.
This is for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're just like filming the news. So it's the perfect, because I hate some movies. Like, I think one of the first movies you had me watch was It Follows, and how It Follows doesn't give you all the information that you need at the end.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's open for interpretation.
Yeah.
There's a big part of me that hates fucking open for interpretation.
Oh, I love it.
I know you do. Yeah. I think this is the perfect amount to where I'm not mad about it.
Okay.
Or the fucking Scarlett Johansson's Alien movie.
Yeah.
Under the Skin.
I love it.
You do too. Fucking hated that movie. So I'm just like, there's a point where you're leaving something open-ended.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I can't tell if you meant to leave it open-ended or you stopped trying.
I hear you.
And you're just leaving it like, bleh. Who knows, man? Maybe you're like, fucking some of the Bob Dylan songs. I'm just like, I don't think you had a message here. I think this is really just about nonsense.
Okay. I understand.
But this was the perfect amount of open-ended. I don't think the Martians were real.
Yeah.
I think it was all fake. I don't know where they got those FUBU jackets.
I think the Martians are real.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't that bad of an invasion at all. Like, as soon as the Martians were there, we were
just like, can we get some blood?
We were kicking the shit out of them.
They're little. He hits one with a stick and it dies immediately.
And then America was calling England and being like, so you guys are just beating the shit out of these aliens, right? And they're like, yeah. It's like, but we could use this to...
So you think the Polish government was just like, all right, well, we need to shut shit down and like we can handle these guys.
Yeah.
We're going to get them some blood. You guys promise to get out of here in 2 weeks because we're going to fuck over our people real quick.
I think it was, hey, yeah. It was like, this is our boogeyman. Here we are. We could grab everybody together and be like, hey, we need soldiers. We need you to...
We need your blood.
Yeah. We can't... You have to stop creating art. You have to go and make stuff for us.
Yeah.
You have to stop with humanity and just start being a part of this machine. You have to trust us.
Yeah. They just seized the opportunity.
It's about your nation now.
Yeah.
And it's been that way for 100 years.
Yeah,
and now a guy whose job was to pick up the news and see it...
Right.
Was finally told, you need to tell this story.
Right.
A big thing's popping off in 2 weeks. So we can't have you doing your fun little thing that everybody loves you for.
Yeah.
We're using that part of you now. you need to start telling people that Martians are great. Something big's happening in 2 weeks. They're leaving, and don't worry about what's actually happening.
Yeah, we just need you to say what we want to say, and then we'll let you interview Ted Cruz and make fun of him for 2 hours.
And I think it's...
And we'll all be like, hey, you did a good job making fun of Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Even though you're still a bad person.
He's a terrible person.
Yeah.
Nobody should give him his flowers. Nobody should give...
There's a great meme where it was...
Tucker Carlson his flowers.
It was a quote from Tucker Carlson. It just says, Tucker Carlson says that Fox News is a propaganda machine that's spewing lies. And then it just has underneath it the Tim Robinson in the hot dog suit being like, we're all trying to find out the guy who did this.
He's a horrid man.
Yeah.
Horrid.
Yeah, but this is a good movie. So that's awesome.
Very good movie.
Let's
I'm happy
move
you
on
liked
to
it.
talk.
You got to give it a score.
Oh, shit. That's right. 3. Hard 3.
Hell
Hard
yeah.
3. Yeah, didn't think I'd like
That's
it. It's
amazing.
a 3. It's a 3. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. I definitely thought it was going to be a 1 from you.
I think if I had watched this and talked about it last Thursday, it would have been a 2.
Damn.
But I think, sadly, an extra week of what happened and me watching it on Tuesday, I was just like,
yeah,
this hits a different tone.
This is really weird.
Sometimes you need to, depending on when you experience art, it can change the way you feel about it.
Nothing's changed in fucking 45 years.
But what's cool is when my kid goes to high school next year, she'll have a war to be mad about too, like we did when we were in high school.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Maybe
she'll start listening to NoFX.
I saw a meme that said it was the born too late to explore the seas, born too early to explore space, right? It says born too late to invade the Middle East, born too early to invade the Middle East, born just the right time to invade the Middle East.
Why not? So let's talk about something nice.
Woo!
Documentary on
Half
Max.
nice.
No, I think it's all nice.
Yeah.
Documentary on Max, Pee-wee Herman as himself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a movie about...
Ooh, it's raining hard. I wonder if that's picking up on the mic.
I can hear it in the headphone.
Yeah.
Regardless, so this is why I wanted to come over here when I did, because I knew there was some storm. So this is a movie, or documentary, 2-parter available on Max by Paul Reubens, sort of. So Paul Reubens said he wanted to make a documentary.
What's his name? Tony Wolfe? Is that the director's name?
Yeah. And so he got in touch with this guy. He's like, hey, I want to make a documentary. I want to tell my story. I've never really done that before.
Yeah.
And so they were like, all right, that's fine. At this point, and they say this in the first episode, they said Paul Reubens knew he was sick.
Yeah, but
no one else knew he was sick.
Yeah.
The cast, director didn't know, crew didn't know, anything like that. So this was kind of, in a weird way, Paul Reubens' own thing of like, hey, I need to kind of clear the air about my life. And Matt Wolf was the guy's name. Sorry.
Matt Wolf.
Dick Wolf. And so it's kind of a weird time capsule in that sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Paul wanting to...
They said he talked for like 40 hours.
Yeah,
they had
said
like
they got
40 hours of footage.
Yeah.
And it's not just him talking. They have everyone talking about it. They have Charlie's mom from It's Always Sunny and Lawrence Fishburne and a whole bunch of... Yeah. And everyone that was involved with him. Fucking Tim Burton.
Yeah.
A bunch of people. And
David Arquette.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was his best friend?
I didn't know he was best friends. So here's one reason I want Jake to watch this is I know Jake has a big old hole or a big old spot in his heart for Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah.
Jake and I
love Pee-wee.
So I never got Pee-wee when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Big Top Pee-wee. And I haven't seen the newer one that came out either.
I need to
and
finish that.
I've seen maybe some episodes of Pee-wee's Playhouse. I don't think I've sat down and watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure front to back.
Oh, man.
It's one of those things that I know enough about pop culture to where I get the references.
Right.
Like when someone says like Large Marge or like I'm a Rebel Dottie or something like that. Yeah. I get it.
I'm a loner Dottie.
Loner Dottie, yeah, that's what it is.
Rebel. Yeah.
But like I get all the touchstones. And I was thinking about this and it dawned on me during watching this documentary, I'm like, why didn't I get Pee-wee Herman when I was a kid? Mm-hmm. I think it's because when Pee-wee's Playhouse was coming out in like the late 80s, and then I was born in the late 80s, and then I was born in Sarasota, Florida, where Pee-wee lived.
Yeah, his
where
parents
Pee-wee
lived.
got busted for the first time in 1990.
Yeah.
Touching himself in an adult theater, which, why the fuck else are you in an adult theater?
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're a healthy, normal American adult male.
Yeah, that's
good job.
I mean,
Paul.
I don't think you're healthy and normal for going to an adult theater.
Yes, you are. Everybody wants to do that. Everybody's scared.
I think you're normal for the people that go to that place. That's allowed to exist.
You're doing a
legal.
standard thing.
It's legal for that place to exist, and he was doing what it's like.
You went to Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
It's like going to.
I'll have one Tropical Smoothie Cafe, please. And then somebody goes, "You're going to jail."
Right. It's like going to a driving range. Like, you're just gonna stand there and hit balls all day. It's like, yeah, man, that's why this place is here. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
But I think
I had a big debate with a friend about porno theaters because he's under the idea that is what they're for. You go there to masturbate, and to me, you go there to get
watch
yourself
other people
randy.
masturbate.
No, you go with like your lady friend,
okay.
and you get yourself all hot and heavy together.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're gonna go back home, and I'm gonna be thinking about this movie.
Huh.
I thought that was the main culture of it.
No idea.
And he's telling me, I don't know either.
I can't speak.
I have to read more
subculture.
of this.
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Maybe I have to write the book.
But so the point is, I was definitely raised a lot more conservatively than you were with what entertainment I was exposed to.
Uh-huh.
So there was something in my early formative years, like I was like 3 when he got busted, and he got busted like it was all over local news because it happened. I was born in Sarasota. I lived in Bradenton, like that whole area knew about it. You drive by the place on US 41, you're like, that's where fucking Pee-wee was jerking off and doing whatever.
Poor guy.
But so I was never exposed to Pee-wee because I think there was that thing where it was just kind of like, oh no, he's a bad person because. Nothing against my parents or anything, but it was just like, no, we don't want our kids watching this guy. You watch something else.
Yeah.
Watch something wholesome. I watched a lot of like Julia Child and shit growing up, or Star Wars, or whatever. So I just never had that childhood area of Paul Reubens, like no soft spot for him whatsoever. Growing up, I saw him in other things, and I'm just like, oh, that guy was Pee-wee, and then you kind of learned like, oh, that he was just jerking off in a jerk-off theater, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And
jerk-off theater,
whatever you want to call it,
that's a good name for it.
And he talks about it in this documentary how it. I think one of the great things about it after I watched this, and I knew I wanted to talk to you about it because I was curious, like how much of this changed your opinion on him, because over the course of this documentary, complete turnaround on Paul Reubens.
Yeah, for you?
For me.
Okay.
Not from thinking he's a bad person to
understanding
thinking he's a good person, but from thinking he was, not even from his character, from his career, that I did not know how big of an innovator he was in comedy.
Yeah, sure.
And how many people respected him, people that I respect that respected him.
Yeah.
Just because I had only known him as a kid's TV entertainer. Like, and you get that whole other side of him where you're just like, holy shit, this guy was way ahead of his time. He
established the times.
Yeah.
Is what I would say.
He was way ahead of it, like, just in knowing, like, okay, well, you can take a character and you can run with it.
Himself.
Right.
Like,
from the Groundlings. I didn't know
he did the Groundlings thing.
I didn't know Phil Hartman co-wrote Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I didn't know Phil Hartman also kind of screwed him over.
Yeah,
threw him under the bus afterwards.
I didn't know about that. I knew Phil Hartman was a big part of Pee-wee.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that they had this type of falling out.
I thought it was a fascinating documentary from start to finish.
So yeah, I love Pee-wee.
Yeah,
and Pee-wee Herman, definitely a big part of my childhood, and like I thought it was a real person. You know what I mean? I thought it was Pee-wee Herman. That's just who he is, and it wasn't until Mystery Men that they're like, that's Pee-wee Herman. I was like, that's not
Pee-wee Herman, guys.
They're like, no, Paul Reubens plays Pee-wee. And I was like, this is blowing my damn mind. I always thought it was fun, and it's definitely, you could tell it left a mark on me because he was an outsider type of guy. He made really outsider type of stuff. And to watch him talk about this stuff was very emotionally relieving.
He's a captivating person.
Yes. He's very silly. He's very sweet.
The way he tells, he's one of those people that he has the desire for the spotlight, but once he gets it, he fucking owns it. He's like, all eyes on me, good.
Yeah.
Like, I can fucking perform under pressure.
Yes. He's
professional.
He's an entertainer.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it, and he wanted he found his way to do it.
From the early life in like interviews with his sister and shit, it's like, oh, he's been this guy.
Yeah.
Like he's always been looking for this outlet.
Where he's like, I'm just going to fall back in the circus. And I was like, that's great. I understand that drive.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I just want to be in front of people and I want to entertain.
I used to go to that circus academy in Sarasota.
That's beautiful.
Not like as a student, but like you would go see like performances there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's great.
Awesome as hell.
Yeah. Florida rules. Let's go to Florida.
There's some good things in Florida.
Jerk-off theaters. Probably not anymore with fucking DeSantis.
That place should be a historical landmark, is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that his big crime was he was caught pleasuring himself during a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie.
Yeah, something like that came around. Like it was like a kid's show.
And that's what I was like, ooh, wow.
Which is always the big thing when
it never took me out of Pee-wee. You know, I still watched this show. I still love this movie. But when it came out, you know, that he was watching porno at a porn theater.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, oh, I
learned about that in like college.
I don't care at all. Yeah.
I think it was when like I mentioned it to someone in college when I like someone in college like was a big fan of Pee-wee, had like the poster on the wall, like him on the bike, you know, doing the movie poster. And I was just like, "What, you got that guy that's jerking off to kids movies?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "That's not what happened."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, people just ran with the story. And I get why he wants to make this documentary. You know what I mean? Because if just left to his own vices, people come out and say...
Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Instead of left to his own devices, left to his own vices?
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Thanks, brother.
Is that a turn of phrase or you just...
I'm pretty sure it was already one.
Left to his own vices?
Yes.
It's left to his own devices.
I get that, but also you can say...
I've never heard it. I'm giving you full credit.
Well, it's mine. I mean,
should have written up in that when you were making fun of Orson Welles.
When he was... people just would run with a story to ruin his life.
Yeah.
And I was
sensationalism. It's early TV,
so I get,
cable news, shit like that.
I get why he wanted to make this documentary, and I get why he was like, I don't trust that you're going to make this a good documentary.
Yeah, he was very cagey with Matt Wolf the whole time.
Which, good for him. You know,
you should be.
You should protect yourself as hard as you can.
He's been through the ringer on 2 distinct occasions.
Yes. Both of them erroneous.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Yeah, and the second time he got busted with the guy that was Lydia's dad in Beetlejuice. Like, that guy said that Pee-wee had I don't think we can say it.
Yeah.
CP or whatever you have to say to not get kicked off of YouTube.
Corn.
Kid corn.
Yeah.
Whatever so fucking dumb.
Yeah. Welcome to a beautiful society that you
But
want
regardless,
to play
he had
with.
he had illegal stuff at his house.
Yeah.
But it was just like old vintage gay porn.
Yes. He didn't have illegal stuff at his house.
No.
They said that they found one where a guy looked like he was a kid.
Right.
And he wasn't.
So he pled guilty to like possession of obscenity or something like that.
Yeah. Paid a $100 fine.
Yeah. But somehow that blew up into people like through the telephone of blah, blah, blah. To like,
happy
Pee-wee Herman had this.
I'm so happy that it was a 2-part documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy because the first part is...
Great documentary, too.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Such a great story. And told by one of the best storytellers that there's ever been in entertainment.
Fucking captivating.
He's so good.
I didn't know any of the stuff about the groundlings and how
Native
it was like
American lounge singer character.
Called like Johnny Longtoes.
And he was like, oh, thank God I didn't get famous for that. That's the perfect way to look back at your old stuff.
Yeah.
And be like, that was, he was like, it wasn't kind of racist. That was just racist.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank God that character did not take off.
Jimmy Kimmel's stoked he didn't get known as a Carl Malone impersonator as well.
Yeah, see? Yeah. And when you look back and
no one looked at Justin Trudeau and like, hey, you're really good playing that Arab guy.
To see that he did all these, very outsider art, Andy Warhol-esque stuff, very Warhol-inspired. You could tell he's a Warhol-inspired guy. Yeah. His stuff is so outside the box. It's wonderful that he gets this opportunity to do something, and he's like, I want to do it with my friends, and his friends are also outsider artists, and it just brings them into the limelight. Like Elvira's like one of his best friends, and she's wonderful, and it's great to know that that's how it went. The artist for Pee-wee's Playhouse is an incredible artist.
Comic artist, yeah.
There's a documentary, they talked to Wayne White a little bit in there. He's got a documentary about himself.
Oh, really?
It might be a recommendation for you one day. It's called Beauty is Embarrassing.
Sure.
And it's very good. And he just he crafted the puppets and stuff for them.
It's so weird too. I guess kind of just from like a tertiary thing because like I said, Pee-wee was one of those things where it wasn't like my parents were like, you're not allowed to watch it, but like just watch something else.
Yeah.
And I never really liked the look of it either.
Well, it's just
and then by fucking 4th grade, I had South Park, and I'm like, I'm just gonna watch South Park.
I liked Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That was my first sighting of Pee-wee.
Came out in 84? Before we were born?
Before I was born. And it was just a movie that we watched, and I was like, this is incredible. He's so fun, and he's so funny, and it's dazzling as a very abnormal child that I am to see somebody who's living a very abnormal life, and then people around him just being like, "Hey, Pee-wee, how's it going?"
Yeah.
It's like, "I'm gonna water my lawn," and he just has a wild sprinkler that goes, and everybody's just laughing and having fun with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is wonderful for a kid like me who's like, we're like, "Hey, we're going out in public, Jacob. Don't act like a fucking weirdo. Be normal."
I still have to say that to you all the time.
And it doesn't matter. People are so happy to see me all the time.
Yeah, they are.
It's so nice that Pee-wee's like, no, just be yourself and everybody's cool with it.
Right.
And it's just heartbreaking to hear that he's been a closeted homosexual for so long.
Even though he never really officially like came out.
Yeah.
He was just more like, it's none of your business what I'm doing.
He had a character that's all about just, if you are yourself, you're going to attract people around you that love you for who you are.
Yeah, there was a joke in the Christmas special where it's like, oh, it's another fruitcake. Oh, this house is full of fruitcakes.
So
and it's
good.
2 jacked dudes in suspenders building the house out of fruitcakes.
It's so
funny.
It breaks my heart that he didn't feel like he could live his honest life, but it did seem like he lived a wonderful life.
He didn't seem like he had
in
many
his
regrets.
Yeah.
Okay, so I compared him earlier to Norm Macdonald, just in the sense that they were both sick. They didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
First of all, fucking stand-up thing to do.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, I don't need to make this a public thing.
Yeah. You don't have to do it the way they did it.
His friends and family knew.
Yeah.
And then Norm also like filmed some stand-up stuff before he passed as well. And I think as like the artist, you're just like, all right, I'm going to handle my business the way I want to. And also not wanting it to be like a long, drawn-out spectacle.
Yeah.
I get it. He seems like he's been a private guy his whole life.
He didn't want to give it this veneer of the death when you're doing the documentary.
I think he definitely had, out of the people that had like separate, like big personalities, like you have people like Bobcat Goldthwait, got known for like playing a character. Andrew Dice Clay, kind of that same vein. Larry the Cable Guy. You don't see Dan Whitney coming out and just be like, "Oh, I'm Dan Whitney now. I'm just a regular person who's going to be an actor."
Who's that, Larry Cable Guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's sitting on his Larry the Cable Guy money and being like, "Yeah, I'm just going to be fine, and then I could go out as Dan Whitney and just play golf, and I've got $100 million. So who the fuck cares?" Yeah. But he didn't do that because I think it says something to his integrity as an artist, where he's like, "I've had all this success with this character. I don't want to fucking be this character anymore. I want to do something else." And that takes it, and Bobcat did that with his directing and stuff like that. And it shows like a creative drive that I wouldn't have attributed to Paul Reubens without seeing this documentary.
Very cool. Very cool to hear.
It definitely turned me around on him.
Good. I love
Not that it was a bad view first, but I was just like, I was a nothing.
You didn't know how important he was to a lot of people.
Right. And I get it now. I don't think I'm not going to go back and watch everything, and I'm just going to start mainlining Pee-wee's Playhouse and stuff like that. Man, I mean, I get it. I think this documentary is great.
That they just recorded a dog eating dog food for 2 minutes.
It's hilarious.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Would have pissed me off if I had seen that movie without having the context of knowing
it was on the TV show.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, and
it's just I like how he just approaches art, and comedy.
Great documentary.
Yeah, really good documentary.
What do you
3? Absolutely
3 double threes to come back.
It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. Paul Reubens was a beautiful man. I will miss him dearly.
Played the Penguin's dad twice.
He did
in Batman Returns and on Gotham.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
he's so incredibly talented.
Mystery Man was a good movie.
Yes, Mystery Man was a very good movie, and he was great in it.
That was a good vehicle because it had Paul Reubens and also Hank Azaria.
Yeah,
who are known for playing like characters.
Yeah,
and they're just to play a different fun character.
Yeah,
yeah,
just character actors.
Yeah,
filling themselves out.
Dane Cook's in that movie too.
Yeah,
As
the waffle,
the waffler.
the waffler.
Yeah.
Waffle man, yeah, I am the waffler, going crispy. Bad guys are history. Yeah.
Big mystery man.
And then I'm running. Yeah, I watch that movie at least once a year.
It's a good movie. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you to our buddies, Brother Bill, for letting us use their music as a theme song. If you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email at upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Let's find out what we're going to be talking about. Let's see how does this battery doing?
4 stars.
Fucking Ryobi, baby. We're recording.
Why do you allow people money from you?
What do you mean?
Before you secure the bag.
Ryobi?
Yeah, you just say, hey, our battery is working. That's just what I'm saying.
No.
I think you should police your own words more.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna pimp myself out.
That's insane.
I'm gonna stop by Target on the way home because there's a new Liquid Death flavor that I'm interested to try.
Yeah.
Available exclusively at Target retailers.
We don't go to Target no more.
We don't?
No.
Why not?
Not on Pride Month.
But they've got pina colada.
That sounds awful. That sounds delicious. I'm sorry. I was lying. I reacted harsh because I don't like Target.
And then you thought about it and
Not
just
in
pina colada.
Pina colada is such a delicious drink.
But colada.
I mean, I hate the puns. I always hate the puns. I hate
puns aren't
almost
great.
everything about Liquid Death
Except
other
the
than
taste.
its taste.
I hate the marketing. I hate the packaging.
Yeah.
I hate the collabs with Target.
I don't
but
hate the
fuck,
packaging.
It's delicious.
I was listening to the Doughboys, and it was Nick Weiger who made a great point where he's like drinking it from a can.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it just kind of slows me down a little bit. Was when it's in a plastic
Oh,
bottle.
I do the opposite.
It crushes it.
I do the opposite.
I noticed that I do drink it down slower.
I think it's
from the can.
years of drinking beer on golf courses.
Yeah.
When I crack, especially now they have the 12-ounce sparkling waters, I crack one of those open and just chug it. It's
Shit.
good for my hydration,
I don't like that they went to smaller cans.
especially after a couple of these bad boys.
I do want another iced coffee.
I showed up. Oh, this isn't a nice coffee. I showed up at Jake's house late with a Starbucks, which is like the trashiest
Yes,
summertime.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
I should reprimand you.
You would always have, it was like the worst. Like when I worked in restaurants, you would always have servers come in at, they're supposed to be there at 5. They show up at 5:20.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm late. They have a full Starbucks. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you wouldn't have been if you didn't go to Starbucks. But this is a iced Americano.
I accept it.
It's a delicious thing.
All right.
But let's find out what we're going to be talking about next week.
Got you a gift. You use this.
Why are you giving me $50?
I'm giving you a $50 gift card on PlayStation because
Thanks, buddy.
you are playing a game with me because I've been playing a game.
Is it Death Stranding 2?
It's not Death Stranding 2.
Oh.
It's FBC, Firebreak.
What's that?
It's from Remedy, the guy who made Control, Max
Okay.
Payne, all of them. They made a PvE squad game,
Oh, hell
multiplayer
yeah.
game.
I'm on board.
And I've been playing it for a couple hours, and it's been very fun. I think it's going to be even more fun playing it with a competent person.
Oh, you will be surprised.
Yeah.
Although, I've been playing. I don't know if you stalk me on PlayStation like I stalk you. Whenever you're online, I see what you're playing.
No, that's terrifying. that
I've
you
been
do
playing a lot of Fortnite
that. Yeah.
because I was trying to teach the kid a life lesson. I'm not great at parenting. So no.
let me teach you
Okay,
something about Fortnite.
So I was playing. I booted up Fortnite because they had Star Wars stuff, and I wanted to look at the Star Wars stuff. And so I did enough levels to get the V-Bucks or whatever, and I bought a Mandalorian skin. And then it was the music, since they have fake rock band in Fortnite now, and they had the Sabrina Carpenter stuff. And I like Sabrina Carpenter. Her new single, Man-Child, not great.
Yeah.
It's not Song of the Summer. It's No Espresso.
I like her.
Yeah.
I like her
It's-
attitude.
Yeah, I mean, she's great. I saw her live.
Yeah.
But Short and Sweet Tour, I've got the T-shirt. It's no big thing. But I'm just saying Man-Child's not as good as it could be. I'm looking forward to the rest of the album, though.
I think you don't like Man-Child because it's attacking us.
No, it's just lyrically it's not as good as Espresso. It feels like it was rushed.
I think
any
it's
artist,
because it's attacking man-children, and that's us.
No, it's attacking Barry Kagan, which I'm definitely okay with.
That's hilarious.
But what was I going to say? Oh,
I don't
so
know.
the Sabrina Carpenter said it was leaving in a week.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, why don't you buy this? Because she likes to play Fortnite every now and again when she's at the house. And she's like, well, why don't you buy the Sabrina Carpenter thing? But you have to get the battle pass.
Yeah.
Oh, power might go out, but it won't go out.
We're
This
on
fine
battery,
Ryobi battery that we're doing the podcast on. And I was just like, okay. She's like, just buy it. And I was like, no, you have to level up. And I was at level 1. And you have to get to level 37 in the rock band to get the Sabrina Carpenter skin.
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, you can just, she's like, you could just buy it, right? And I was like, you could play the game.
Both
not have to buy it.
things are terrible. That's what I would say.
So I grinded out Fortnite music mode.
Oh my god! To get Sabrina Carpenter
to get the Sabrina Carpenter skin.
Oh my god!
Because she was just like, Dad, it's like $20 if you just want to buy it. And I was like, no, you can earn it. I'm gonna show you how to earn it.
I'm going to work harder than money.
Yes, I will work harder at something I don't care that much about to teach what I think would be a lesson.
You could have worked an hour at DoorDash.
I could have sold like a dozen cookies.
Yeah.
And done it. But that's not the point. The point is if you want something and it's dumb enough, or if you're just stubborn enough to prove a point, you too can waste 4 hours.
Well, play FBC with me. I'm having a great time.
Absolutely.
And I want to play it with you.
I'm looking forward to it. What's the pitch on it?
It's so Control. Remember that game?
I do. I liked Control.
You're playing
Does
this.
it have awesome music like Control does?
So far, I enjoy the music.
Right on.
You're playing this team that just like cleanup duty. Like one of them is Post-it notes. Room is covered in Post-it notes, and they're the bad type of Post-it notes. You got to destroy them. Sometimes they come to life.
Wait, the bad kind of Post-it notes?
Yeah. Like Control has weird monster stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Post-it notes are the monsters.
Oh.
They turn into monsters. If you get covered in too much Post-it notes, you die.
Just like real life.
Kill all the Post-it notes.
I would assume.
With your friends. Try and survive.
Okay. And it's 4-player PvE?
3-player PvE.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm having a great time.
I almost did.
More than likely, it's going to be me and you, maybe a third person, but I've been doing.
Well, if you're a third
duos.
person and you want to do anything, then email us upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Oh yeah.
So for you, I have a double recommendation.
No.
I want it. Yes.
One recommendation.
No, it's two. It's a two-parter.
Okay.
Like this. It's a podcast. Okay, so there's a podcast. It's from Vulture.
Yeah.
A podcast called Switched on Pop.
Uh-huh.
Musicologist Nate Sloan and songwriter Charlie Harding. It's a weekly podcast where they're just talking about pop stuff. They talk about Man-Child in this week's episode, but that's not what I'm having you listen to.
Yeah.
Having you listen to last week's episode, where they interview Mr. Seth MacFarlane.
Okay.
You're familiar?
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane.
So the
Family Guy.
The episode is called "Frankly, Sinatra Still Matters."
Okay.
Where they talk to Seth MacFarlane about Frank Sinatra, and then I want you to listen to the new Seth MacFarlane album.
I watched. Oh, I will do this. Go ahead.
Yeah,
continue.
the new Seth MacFarlane album, "Lush Life."
Okay.
It's so Seth MacFarlane, Frank Sinatra Jr. was on Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane got to know the Sinatra family through Sinatra Jr. When Sinatra Jr. died, his sister, Tina Sinatra, got access to all of Frank Sinatra's stuff. So Seth MacFarlane got access to 1,200 boxes of unrecorded Frank Sinatra arrangements. Pieced through them with an orchestra, and he made an album of unrecorded Sinatra arrangements.
Okay. Very interesting.
It's called Lush Life by Seth MacFarlane, and listen to the Switched on Pop, where he talks about, listen to this...
You want me to first?
Listen to the podcast first,
okay,
and then listen to the album because you'll appreciate the album more if you've heard the podcast.
We talked about how I watched Ocean's 11, right? Steven Soderbergh.
No, you watched Ocean's 11?
Yes.
Nice.
So I watched that.
Greatest movie ever, right?
It's not the greatest movie ever, but
No,
it's a
it's not.
fantastic
That's Princess
movie.
Bride.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, don't watch the next two.
But I'm going to be watching them.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot. But then I watched Logan Lucky, right?
Oh, that movie rules.
Yes, that movie is very good.
Yeah,
and that's got Seth MacFarlane in it. Yeah, he plays the.
He
plays the race car sponsor guy, and when I saw that, I was like, "This is great." It was like, I love Seth MacFarlane, but I don't like anything that he's in.
Right. So
when he shows up in something like Seth MacFarlane, this is the best. We're like, don't you want to watch Ted? I'm like, fuck that, no.
Dude, Ted the TV show was great.
I'm like, nah,
the two Ted movies were good too.
I'm like, oh man, Seth MacFarlane has a song on one of the Futurama episodes. Yeah, and
probably.
It's great. Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah.
like, he goes, "You and I will live again if what our Hindu brothers say is true." It's so good and funny.
So,
I was like, Seth MacFarlane, this is great. And like, hey, you should watch 1,000 Ways to Die in the West.
Nope.
No, I'm not going to do that. Fuck that. No.
All right, so listen to the podcast. And then
So this
listen to
sounds
the
like
album.
it's probably going to be great.
Yeah.
So
and I'm a
very
diehard Frank Sinatra guy.
Yeah.
My whole life. I was inundated from my grandfather.
He's good.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to play FBC.
Yes. We're going to play.
We're going to play FBC with some headset microphones, assuming the power doesn't go out.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jake's going to listen to Switched On Pop, the episode with Seth MacFarlane. Listen to the episode about Man-Child if you want to. I'm going to listen to it on the way home. And then he's going to listen to the album Lush Life by Seth MacFarlane. So thank you, everybody, for listening.
On thin ice, sir. Giving me 2 wrecks in one day.
The podcast is 40 minutes, and the album's 42.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to play a lot more of that.
The rules were 1.
That's fair. All right. So, Jake, thanks for having me over. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.